Hey, hello. Hi, everyone. This is Warren from the Rhapsody Piano Studio. Want to welcome you to today's live lesson. We're going to be learning Toss a Coin to Your Witcher from The Witcher. And it's going to be for intermediate piano. And by the way, there are free, it's going to be free link to the sheet music in there. I mean, link to the free sheet music. I guess it doesn't really matter. So make sure you pick up a copy of that after the live stream is over. Yeah, and give credit to the person who arranged it as well. Okay, so this is for intermediate piano. Once again, free sheet music. Make sure you check out the links. After you're done with this lesson, you want to think of this as kind of like the study guide. If you really want to test out your knowledge to see if you are really able to learn piano on your own, then you just take these ideas that I'm showing you here and going over to the tutorial that will be in the links as well. And if you're able to use that, then congratulations, you're kind of able to, at least, somewhat able to understand these instructions. There's always more to this. There are levels to this, but that's a really good sign. Okay, before we start, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And if you want to catch whenever we go live on these lessons, make sure you hit that notification bell. All right, so we're going to practice toss a coin. I guess it's not toss a coin to your Witcher, toss a coin and whatever. This is from The Witcher. I'm going to show you really how to practice this as we go along. I'll explain these concepts, kind of like step-by-step directions as well, okay? All right, let me zoom out real quick. Okay, this is Dust Coin from The Witcher. First thing you're gonna do is divide it up into sections, okay? So I'm gonna take from the beginning, and I'll show you the first part I would practice if I were you at home. Forgot how awkward this is. Okay, so sometimes this is a problem with some free sheet music. You guys might not have a problem with it, but for me, it's a little weird sometimes. These arrangements. I'm not gonna say too much about it because it's cool that they make these arrangements, but it's just really hard to understand the format sometimes. So it's actually not that hard to play, but I'm having trouble reading this because it's just very awkward. Some of the things I didn't notate. Anyway. We'll go back. Here's just the left hand now, okay? By the way, 4 flats in here. Really don't. Let me see what key this is in if I can figure it out. Alright, it looks to me like B flat minor, or you could also think of it. No, it's B flat minor, okay? 4 flats here. Here's just the left hand. You're gonna build a B flat minor chord, then go into. What is this? An E flat minor? Inverted? Or no, actually. E flat major, and then E flat minor, and this is a F minor 7th. I don't know any idea what this is. Alright, for you to be able to do, for those of you who want to do a little analysis at home, that's just a little start. What do we have here? It's like another F minor. And this is 7th, by the way. F minor 7th, F major 7th. Sorry I didn't explain that in the beginning. Okay, so let me show you the chords again. When you're playing these, I think it's a good idea to block these out first before you go ahead and roll it like they're saying. And that's what that little squiggly line means. You kind of roll the chord down, bottom note to the top. Okay, but I would just block it out. Okay, so let's just show you the different positions to go through in the left hand. Sorry, that should be regular G. So you get comfortable with that first, alright? So let me show you one more time. Almost did it again. So if you want to try that with me together at home, let's try it right now. Left hand, ready, go. And move. Just try your best to keep up. Alright, now onto the melody, right hand. Yes, that's a weird one right there. When the humble bard. You see how it's notated here? I mean, that should just be, these should just be quarter notes. Anyway, all right. Okay, let me show you one more time. Now try it with me together. Ready, go. Okay, and also, in practicing these rolls, incredibly important that you do it as evenly as possible from the bottom to the top note. So however fast you go, it should sound like this. So if you're doing it at home, that does take quite a bit of practice. Just holding, even holding it, like holding the notes, if you're not used to that, that's gonna take some practice, okay? Because it's not just like that. I guess you get away with a little bit of pedal, but you want to make sure you're holding these notes as you're rolling them, okay? All right, now here's both hands from the beginning. Okay, let's try it together. We'll go a lot slower. Ready, go. Okay, so depending on what level you are at, you might work on this section for quite a while. It might take like a day for you to get this, or it might take you, like maybe 10 minutes. Just depends on what level you're at. But the point I'm making here is, if you don't get it on the first try, don't worry about it. You shouldn't try to aim for perfection. That's actually a really bad approach with piano. Okay, just get it good enough. All right. I definitely want to avoid some points of frustration as well. So that's the problem. You try to get it perfect. It's just a recipe for frustration and failure, okay? All right, we're gonna keep it going for measure 7. Okay, not gonna lie, I find the left-hand accompanying pattern a little awkward, but these are free sheet music versions, so I honestly haven't heard the song either. So if you want to change this accompaniment pattern up in the left hand, I don't think anyone's going to blow their top or anything like that. Okay, so left hand, let me show you first. It just kind of alternates with this. Okay, so this is measure 7, measure 8, measure 9, measure 10, measure 11. Now here, I'm just showing you roughly the different patterns it's going through. Let me show you one more time. From here, this is measure 7 again, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, back to 13. So just blocking these together, that's like a nice little hack. It'll save you time when you're practicing. And then you simply just have to concentrate, saying, okay, one note at a time now. Let me show you. It's like you're giving yourself a blueprint, and then you just fill it in. Okay? Alright, so let's try it together, left hand. Ready, go. As you're playing these, you definitely want to keep a loose wrist. It's almost like you're transferring weight from one note to the next. Like if you use one finger, like your whole hand moves, right? But you kind of have that same feeling from here, like left, right, okay? You don't want to hold it in one position and do this, okay? So it's kind of a little bit of a seesaw. All right, here's the right hand. All right, we'll try that together. Measure 7. Ready, go. And then we just go back to both hands. Hey James, thanks, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. If there's anything I can do to help you more on this lesson, please let me know, okay? But thanks for watching. Should we keep going? Yeah, okay, so we basically have one part and another part so far. 2 different little chunks is what we're going to call it. So that's like the first concept to learn is when you're practicing. It applies at every level. You have to know how to divide your song or your piece up, and you kind of have to know how the formal structure works a little bit. Nothing too complicated. So we had like the little intro, and then we have the first part of this, like the first verse, I guess, if you want to think of it that way, okay? All right, so you could go back and put it together from the beginning, but I kind of want to go a little bit further because I feel like I want at least a little bit more before we go back and put it together from the beginning, okay? But, you know, you at home, you can make a judgment call for yourself. All right, this is measure 13. Okay, I'm sorry, little notation, more awkwardness. Okay, so it actually goes all the way to measure 22. We're gonna split this part up into shorter sections, okay? So this is They Came After Me, and then we're gonna stop at Teeth. This is measure 17, okay? Yeah, I'm just gonna do hand separate here because I'm having a hard time reading this notation. All right, and your right hand. All right, so that last part, okay? All right, just the right hand. Let's try that together. They came after me. All right. Can you guys see that? Hold on. Let me see. It might be a little off camera here. It's just barely on there. Okay. All right. I don't think it's gonna go. It's not gonna go higher than that. So we should be covered in terms of what you can see. Okay. Let's try it together. They came after me. Ready? Go. Okay, now let's look at the left hand. We're gonna block this out again. Stopping at teeth, and look at here. It's actually the same exact pattern, all right, that we just did from measure 7 to 13. Basically the previous little chunk, okay? So this is why you divide it up into sections, because you can avoid unnecessary repeats. And when I mean repeats is you don't have to practice the same thing again. It's like a waste of time, okay? So this section, you would just do right hand and hands together. So it's not always hands separate and hands together. So I hope you get why we're kind of splitting this section up, okay? All right, so we're just gonna go both hands. And if you want to kind of hear it this way, blocking together. This can actually be a good way to practice if you're practicing giving even sound to both of these keys right here. So you don't want to be bottom heavy or top heavy, right? Kind of like in the middle where the weight is evenly displaced. I don't want to get too scientific on you, but that's the concept of practicing it this way, okay? Now I'm just going to play it for you normally, and we'll just try it the way that it's written, okay? Okay, sorry about that. We'll try that together now. This is measure 13. Ready, go. Okay, moving on, we're gonna finish the section off. It's gonna go all the way to 22, all right? At least 21, 22. All right, so this is what threw me off here. Look at teeth. And then while. That makes no sense, okay? While. This right here, I get what they're saying. They put two 16th notes here in the left hand and a 16th note in the right hand because they want you to know that this one comes right after, all right? So while it's a good intention, it makes no sense at all. That should just be an 8th note, okay? All right, so again, I'm just kind of airing out my problems with free sheet music, all right? Which is all right. They did it for free. I'm not saying you shouldn't, okay? But this is what throws me off when watching it, and when you are using these free sheet music versions, just be very careful because this is not the regular format. It's extremely awkward the way I try to read it, okay? And it should be for you at home. If you're getting used to it, that's a problem, man. You should not be getting used to these free sheet music versions. Anyway. Okay, cut through, no problem. So here's teeth. Here's just the right hand. Okay, we'll just try that together. Teeth. I guess I should use the 4 here. Ready, go, teeth. Alright, now as I mentioned, the left hand accompaniment is pretty much a similar pattern. It's the same thing here, except for that one last measure, which is measure 21. It's kind of like a transition into the actual chorus, okay? So just 21 is all you need to practice. It's basically chords. That is it. It's basically that all over again, okay? So if you compare, let's say measure 16th, this is basically the same kind of harmony. If they want to be exact, it'd be like, but it's just, anyway, hope that makes sense to you guys. If not, don't worry about it, okay? Now we're just gonna go back and do both hands together. This is teeth. Sorry, let me play one time first. Actual chorus, okay? We'll try that together. Teeth. Ready, go. Alright, now we're going to go back to the beginning and actually put this entire section together, alright? This is how I would divide it up, alright? And one quick thing, if you're enjoying this lesson so far, we're almost done here. We only have one more section to go, so we'll wrap it up in a little bit. If you've enjoyed this lesson, if you're learning something from this, hit that like button. Also, if you know anyone who would love to play this on piano, make sure you share this video with them as well when the live stream is over, okay? Alright, what did I say? Back to the beginning. Alright, so let me play for you the entire section from the beginning. Okay, so sorry, kind of missed a little page turn right there. I'm scrolling on my laptop, and I'm looking at the tempo. I actually didn't double check. I'm probably taking this a bit too fast, so make sure you're taking it at the recommended BPM, which is 95. Okay. All right. So remember what I said about the left hand? It's pretty much the same. Okay. So you actually, if you're just doing left hand, you only need to practice it from the beginning to measure Measure 13, because it just repeats after that. And then remember that little one measure at the end. 21. Okay, so we actually can just go from, all right, stick with me here. This is how I would do it from the beginning. And then I would connect the fifth measure, not fifth, measure 6. And then I would actually connect that to teeth. Okay, because that way you can also practice that little. Alright, so let me show you a sample, and this is kind of, yeah, this is what makes practice a little, both exciting and kind of complicated at the same time, because you can kind of figure this stuff out on your own. It's like, how can you speed up the practice, meaning how can you save time, but still make it quality? So this is an example that I would do at home. I wouldn't practice the entire section because it's so repetitive, okay? Unless you want to get a handle on it. So here's how it would go. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. And then this is measure 17. So use that if you want. All right, so just a sample of the things I would be thinking about when I'm practicing. Like, how can I take some shortcuts where it's not cheating? Okay. All right. Here's the right hand. Okay, so the right hand melody, I definitely practice all the way from the beginning to where we stop, because I think there's just enough variety there. Plus, it's just such a catchy melody anyway. I probably, even if this repeated, this is why everything is my opinion, and then same thing with you as well, the viewer at home, pianist at home. Just use your own personal, these are just suggestions is what I'm saying, okay? So, if this was a direct repeat, I'm just telling you what I would do in this situation. If it was a direct repeat, I just like the melody so much, I would just play it again, even if it wasn't different enough, okay? All right, so from the beginning, let's try it together. Ready, go. All right, so we will do right hand and then hands together, okay? So from the beginning, let's try it together at the same time. I'm gonna take it a lot slower to help you guys at home and also to deal with these page turns, okay? Ready, go. Sorry about that. Sorry, missed that right there. Okay, let's just take it from 18 and keep going. Ready, go. Okay, only one last section to go. By the way, make sure you guys stick around. I'll have a quick recap at the end of this lesson, just for the most important things we learned today. Okay? Okay, so that's basically the last section, and this is from 22 all the way to the end. So just want you to think about this for a moment. You can hit the pause button if you need to. Like, where would you divide this up? Okay, so that's enough time, I believe. So if you just want to split this in half, you could just go from 22 to 26. It's pretty clear, obvious, because toss a coin, comes back in, okay? All right, so that's if you want to divide this up. So I'm hoping you use everything I'm teaching you here in this lesson to kind of come to these conclusions on your own. All right, so let's actually practice up to there, all right? So let's start with the left hand. Okay, only thing you have to watch for here is the offbeat at measure 23, where it says O Valley. Richer, O Valley. Richer, O Valley. It kind of gives it a little bit of a, I guess, you know, every time I feel offbeats, it just gets this little jazz flavor in a way, but also helps the rhythm a lot. Just one little change. When I mean a lot, it just makes it more interesting. Okay, there's the left hand. Let's try it together. From toss a coin, measure 22. Ready, go. Okay, right hand. Let me do that again. I think I messed up the rhythm. That. Sorry, we had a little bit of brain slip right there. Let me try one more time. Toss a coin to your witcher. Alright, man, this is so catchy. Okay, right hand together, ready, go. Back to both hands. Together now, ready, go. Okay, last part. Okay, so 28, it didn't really do a good job of switching my fingers here. I would go from 5 to 1, and then 4 or 5, and then 1, and then this, whatever you can think of, right? So this note is key to really switch fingers. So you can reach that B flat on top. Or you could just, either way. A natural works as well. No, it doesn't. Never mind. Let's stick with the B flat there, okay? Alright, left hand. Alright, let's try that at the same time. Ready, go. Yeah, if you notice pattern, it's just... chromatics, really cool. I always love it when I hear that. Okay, right hand. Okay, let's try that together. Ready, go. Both hands. Ready, go. gonna back it up, measure 22. Now here, right hand, left hand, otherwise known as hands separate, hands together. Try it together. This is measure 22. Ready, go. Alright, now left hand. Alright, let's do that together. Ready, go. Alright, we're just going to do both hands here, wrap this lesson up, and give you guys that quick little recap at the end. Here we go, measure 22, ready, go. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. Quick recap here. This is for intermediate piano. Free sheet music's in the link. This lesson you want to think of as a study guide, kind of like a general instructions. Basically a one-on-one piano lesson. And when you really understand this concept, you can apply it to any tutorial that I have on my channel. You just need sheet music so you can read it. Alright, if you don't know the notes, then get the sheet music. I don't play by ear. I don't teach by ear. Something I'm working on, which is cool, all right? But I firmly believe you need to be able to read sheet music. It's kind of ridiculous if you can't at this level, all right? So get the sheet music, learn the concepts, which is basically the only two things I taught you here was hands separate and then chunking it, like small parts at a time, and then building them up into bigger lessons. Just a common sense approach that works, okay? So these are the main things we worked on today. And as a bonus, if you want a little bit more of an advanced concept, in terms of like how many repetitions and how long to wait in between when you practice these sections, look up spaced repetition online. Probably a lot of people who do a much better job of me explaining. And the software I use to incorporate all this is called Anki. Maybe I'll show you guys one day. It's kind of complicated, that's why I don't really go into it. It's not easy to learn to use the software. I mean, it is easy, but to set it up on your own is quite a bit of individual effort. But anyway, so those are the main things. Chunking, small chunking, and look up spaced repetition online, okay? And make sure to check out a lot more resources available on my website, and it's a lot better organized as well. So make sure you head on over to the website. You can catch all the lessons. You can search for whatever you want. If you have a song that you want to learn on piano, I'm like 90% sure I have it because there's so much music on there. Definitely check it out after this live stream is over. And also don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button, and share this video as well. All right, I will see you guys for the next live stream. Hope you guys have a pleasant, it's Martin Luther King Day today, okay? Grateful to him for all the good that he did. Hope you guys have a pleasant holiday. I'll see you guys for the next, is it a holiday? Yeah, it is a holiday. Sorry, no offense. All right, I'll see you guys next time for the next live stream. Happy practicing.